enough to do, wasn't it?
Oh,
Okay.
all right, our
I
video
got it.
is ready to
Just don't be
start.
wasting our tax.
Are you good?
Sit on the back.
Queuing up, yep, we're good.
You
I
good?
said, don't be wasting our taxpayer money.
Are you
Just kind of
live?
get this on the back of it, so it's-
I'll call you, you can come home and get that done.
Okay, I'll.
Okay.
You good?
Yep.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Please rise. I pledge allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, morning, everybody, to the June 28th Board of Commissioner meeting. Roll call, please.
Gross,
Present?
Holgren,
Present.
Longsberger,
Present.
Sykes,
Present.
Overman.
Present. Open meetings law is posted on the south side of our chambers, is on our website, also in the hallway outside of our chambers. Proof of the publication was on our website and in the newspaper June 23rd. Review and approve the minutes of June 14th Board of Commissioner meeting. You should have all had those emailed.
Move to approve it.
Thank you, Bill.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any discussion? Roll call.
Longsberger,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Holgren,
Yes.
Overman.
Yes, adopt today's agenda, the long one that it is.
Move to adopt the agenda for the York County Board of Commissioners for Tuesday, June 28th, 2022.
Thank you, Kurt.
Second?
Thank you, Daniel. Any discussion? Roll call.
Holgren,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
Longsberger,
Yes.
Sykes,
Yes.
Overman.
Yes. It is time for official forum. I don't see any officials here. You got anything? Harv wasn't showing up or anything today. You guys, either one of you?
Going out today. He had some other things going, and he said he really had nothing to report other than still hauling gravel and
Yeah.
rock,
Okay.
maintaining the roads and trying to catch up from the storm, so
Yeah.
basically,
Okay, well, seeing none out there, we'll go to public forum at this point in time. You can step forward and speak to anything that is not on the agenda if you would like to for a couple minutes. Good morning.
Good morning. Jim Jackson, 907 Road 2, Fairmont. Good morning and thank you for letting me take part of your time when you got so many things on the agenda. This last few weeks have reminded me of how powerful the good Lord is. Sometimes we think we're running the show and nothing can happen. And a whole bunch of our infrastructure is a lot more susceptible than we think. The 345 power line went down again, 6 towers in our township. Of course, you got it built up, there's lots and lots of poles, lots of bins. Anyway, this happens, and it's part of the way nature works. And I find it ironic that the proposed solar platform suggests that they won't cause no pollution, or they'll have no infrastructure problems. They haven't been here yet. They haven't done it in this kind of area. Most of the area that I'm aware of that they're gonna use in our township has been hit at least 3 times in the last 20 years by tornadoes, and it would have destroyed quite a few of their structures because it's in the heart of where they've got them. Anyway, back to why I'm so passionate about this. We have to double our food production by 2050. And we're gonna take out 3,000 to 5,000 acres. You realize that some of us raise things besides corn and beans. We also run probably several thousand cows in winter on our corn stalks. An acre of corn stalks will keep a cow a month. So sometimes 3,000 acres would keep 1,600 cows for the winter. We used to raise sheep, the market went to thunder. Back further in my history, my first ancestors on my dad's side came here after the Civil War. As was a custom at that point in time, if your brother passed away, maybe your other brother would marry that person. We had one person, he died in the Andersonville POW camp. And that's, I've read several times, that's one of the worst prison camps there ever was. The other one died in a hospital in Tennessee, and I read it, that's the death sentence if you go there. Anyway, they married these ladies. They moved here right after the Civil War. And one of my ancestors on my dad's side is the first person buried in the Greenwood Cemetery west of McCool. Now, I think of my ancestors since then, all the things that they've gone through, like the Depression, the heat of the highest, most of this stuff I haven't Googled, I just come across it or kind of aware of it. The highest temperatures ever recorded in Nebraska was in 1934, it was 118 in Geneva. In 1936, it was 114 in York. The lowest was 2021 was 32 below. We lived through that one. Okay. Then the most rain ever recorded in 24 hours happened right here in New York, June of 1950. I can remember that. My dad just barely got out of town. Anyway, I find it incredulous that we're having this discussion. I appreciate being able to express my concerns. And yes, I'm a diehard farmer, and maybe this land, I maybe haven't used it like I should have, but it's part of me, and the uses it's put to are of concern to me. But I'm fortunate, I'm old enough, like, if this goes through, I don't have to watch it very long, because my assumption now, I finally thought of adjective, how I describe the ground at Fort Dodge. You're not supposed to talk about hell, but I'd say it looks like hell hit with an ugly stick. It'll take 10 years or more for it to get the grass growing again. Anyway, thank you for your time and good luck on your budget.
Thanks, Jim. Anybody else for public forum? There will be an executive session, but we will hold that a little later in the meeting. There is no general assistance claims today. Review and approve the payroll and vendor claims. Should have all had those in front of you. We do have an additional claim out of 835, which is the handy bus account. The additional claim total is for $3,136.79. It looks like repairs. I assume Lori showed up. It's repairs for High Tech Auto Service.
Yeah, I had put those off so that they didn't come in on the last fiscal year, and then I was going at a conference and kind of forgot to get it in for this time, so I think they would appreciate.
Dan's ready to get paid. So that is an additional claim amongst the other ones that we have in front of us.
Move to approve the claims and the additional claim added.
Thank you, Jack.
Second.
Thank you, Bill. Any other discussion regarding claims, payroll? Roll call, please.
Sykes,
Yes.
Bellisberger,
Yes.
Grubbs,
Yes.
Baldwin,
Yes.
Over.
Yes. There is no funding transfers that I'm aware of. I know the treasurer's office is currently working on year end, so we should see where we're at here within the next week or so. So next up is meet with Lisa Hurley with YCDC, update some budget requests. Good morning, Lisa. You brought somebody with you.
I did.
Introductions would be nice for the record, please.
Kind on that. Lisa Hurley, 601 North Lincoln Avenue, York County Development Corporation. Good morning, Commissioners. I would like to thank you for your time this morning and provide a brief update on YCDC activities. First, I'd like to introduce Emily Perry, our development coordinator who started in May. Very excited to have her on. Okay, as stated in my letter that was emailed to you guys, we are requesting $82,000 for the coming year, which is the same amount as this current year. I'm going to try to keep this short and stick to my script. We are making headway in our 2021 5-year strategic plan, which centers around business, housing, organizational improvements, and infrastructure development support. One project I am very excited to talk about was the launch in November of our Size Up York County. This online tool empowers our local aspiring entrepreneurs and small businesses through an innovative online service called Size Up York County, Nebraska. The service is available for free to any businesses or entrepreneurs on the YCDC website at www.yorkdevco.com. Size Up provides powerful market research and business intelligence that is both industry specific and hyperlocal. It includes the same and similar data that is used by huge corporations and is not feasible to use to pay for by local small businesses. It's making it historically inaccessible to our small businesses. Size Up York County, Nebraska helps to level the business playing field by empowering our local entrepreneurs and small businesses with these data insights at no cost to them so that they can make data-driven decisions just like the bigger companies. Business development continues to be active. We were very excited to announce Preferred Popcorn, which is now Preferred Snacks, choosing York County after working with the owners of the Waco Industrial Building for several years on updating the facility and marketing. Is it in the script? But literally 2 weeks after the new restrooms were installed is when Preferred Popcorn toured the facility. So there were no lingering questions on what needed to be done other than from the business perspective. And that's what sold it so quick. They're at a long-term lease and they're here to stay. We continue to work with several businesses on potential expansions and locations. We're also excited to see the opening of McLean Beef in September after a few years of working with the McLean family. One thing I haven't talked about at a county commissioner's meeting in the past is the need for daycare. It's something the YCDC board and staff has engaged on over the past several years. This year, the Nebraska Children's and Family Foundation provided an updated gap number of over 350 positions needed for childcare in York County. And that's a huge talent barrier for those that would like to work and they're staying home instead because they can't find a daycare. So this is something we are working with the York County Child Care Alliance, the business community, and some state partners with. Hopefully in the next year, you will see headway in addressing this barrier. In 2001, let me put some perspective in here. 2001, we worked on 14 industrial projects throughout the year. This included some expansion projects, so existing businesses located in the county, some prototype. It also included some potential recruitment. That 14 counts several site visits I did on data mining, cryptocurrency facilities for one site. I think we were working with 6 companies at one point trying to identify who was going to be a good fit for the county and the site and the city. So that number does not count the number of small businesses that I have worked with providing technical assistance, which are many. In 2022, we're at June 28th, we already have 21 projects we're working on. The increased business load on businesses looking to expand in York County or businesses looking to locate in Nebraska because of our supply chain that's located here is incredible. We have some great opportunities coming. So it does include some expansion, some recruitment, and again, it does not count the small businesses throughout the county where I provided technical assistance. One of those would be the new bakery that's opening up. I've met with them. Another would be Daylight Donuts. I've met with them. I've met with one of our small companies over the last 2 years in McCool. I've met with somebody interested, a couple people in Henderson. So those I don't count in the big, what would be major investment numbers. Housing remains a priority with a need for an additional 542 housing units by 2030. We are looking at applying for the next round of rural workforce housing funds, and I want to say I appreciate the county's partnership over the last several years as we've worked on housing. It's an ongoing goal, and you guys have been crucial in that. We continue to be very aggressive with our talent initiatives, and this past October, we started an out-of-state marketing campaign. This is an online campaign that follows the York News Times articles that are being opened out of state, and it directs them to our Y York County talent page. The numbers are big. People are interested in coming here if we can solve the housing. Our unemployment's under 1.9, if I remember the article from last week. We have to bring people in for our business growth. And not just business growth, but for business successions. We have people that are going to be looking at successions over the next 10 years, whether they own a business or they're in a leadership role or a regular role in a business. We are holding our annual ESI camp in July. Emily's been working on that, organizing that, and we have room left for our 17 county leadership program, which will be held the second time this fall. The deadline is Thursday. Would love to have a county employee on the applicant list. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I think we do have, don't we?
I don't know that we've received it yet.
Leadership?
The 17 county leadership.
Okay.
So, yeah, follow up. Emily's the contact for that. But we appreciate the county's continued investment in quality economic growth in York County. I hope by giving you some of the numbers, I've showed you how diversified we are of what we're working on throughout the county. And by partnering together, we are seeing positive long-term progress through the county. Do you have any questions? It's been a fun year. Challenging, but positive overall.
Any questions, guys? We got your budget request, obviously. We'll put that into the budget. It sounds like you're busy.
I would say we're very busy.
That's what it sounds like, Bill.
As far as the daycare,
Uh-huh.
remember the bond issue that passed in Henderson?
I-
There will be an addition there
Yep,
for daycare. Hopefully it's self-sustaining.
yes.
But we've had numerous people, and they'll be working together with the hospital. We've
Mhm.
had numerous people nurses that were bringing their children to York or even further.
We haven't,
And hopefully this will solve some of this, and so we can retain some of our nurses and staff there in Henderson also.
we actually have a family from Henderson that's driving to Seward for daycare every day. Doesn't that scare you?
Yeah, especially with $5 fuel here.
But yeah, I've met with Jill at the hospital several times. I've worked with the chamber in the city. I've helped market that bond for the school.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I was excited to see it pass.
Go ahead.
With with the daycare, typically if there's a need in the market does something about it. Like people step up and they see, oh yeah, there's daycare here, or there's a need for daycare, let's do this. Obviously, that's not happening. Why is that?
To start a new daycare, it's difficult to get the financing because of the fact that they don't make a lot of money. I'm just gonna put it like that. We have several examples. We've been we have a business plan actually from one community where the communities are having to step in to help make a community type daycare nonprofit go. A lot of our daycare providers, I'm gonna put it like this, we've had raising expenses just within the last year. What Emily's paying for daycare is pretty close to what I paid for daycare. I have a junior in college and a senior in high school. So the daycare increase it's gone up some, but it hasn't gone up to keep up with inflation. And I'm just using personal expense from talking to our daycare providers, what they're charging. But a family should only be using 7% of their income to pay for daycare. And we all know if you have 2 kids, you're spending more than 7% on daycare. I've met with the National Child Care Education Center. In their plan, their business plan says you really need to have 175 spots, if not 200, to make the wages competitive with benefits, so you can keep your staff and make the organization cash flow. We don't have any daycares that large here. I could talk for an hour, Kurt.
So are we gonna see more of a trend like we saw in Henderson where the community said, well, the hospital couldn't justify going by themselves and no one else could, so they just kind of did a...
We may have to, yes. And there is,
Schools make sense to locate those type of things at because that's where
Mhm.
kids are anyways.
And you've seen them partnered with schools, you've seen them partnered with hospitals, nursing homes, you've seen them out on their own on a larger scale. You've seen them partner with major employers, small employers in the community. There's some money coming down from DHHS, some of the ARPA funds. We don't have regulations out yet, we just know it's coming. So we are plugged into the York County Child Care Alliance. And they all know I have a list of, I want to say it's 8 of our existing daycares in the county that are interested in expanding. And so they're trying to put pieces together, not knowing what regulations are going to look at. Some of these expansion would be 2 kids, some of them might be 10 or 20. So that's part of the strategy. But just expanding our existing daycares isn't going to solve the need. We had several close during COVID. We had some people retire. We have a couple that want to retire, and they're waiting for other ones to open up because they don't want to just cut their families off.
Well, kind of same with housing too. You talked about there's this need for housing. That should be easier to do than putting up daycares, I think. But I know like with COVID, that just threw everything out of whack with prices.
Supply chains are out of whack. With everything, supply chains out of whack.
Is it more of what people perceive their housing should be versus what they really could get by with, or? Because to me, I don't think there should be that big of a housing issue.
There is. Even to maintain your population, you have to add housing because our family units are smaller.
Okay.
Contractors, developers can build in Lincoln, get more for rent or more for sale price than they will here. So that automatically means they would rather build from a business perspective. You want to make
More homes
money.
up at once, right?
Yep, they can put in 50 units, it's saves some cost, and they can sell them for more money. Back to the child care, government regulations is one of the hugest barriers to expansions, and funding, actually. We have a need for evening daycare or overnight daycare. No one will touch it because you hear horror stories. The housing, it's slowed down a little bit. We still have custom housing being built. But you almost have to subsidize to get the same being built in York County as you would in a metro area. Just because they can't, our prices are up, but they're up even more in the metro areas. And we sell fast here in the county, they sell fast there too. So it's how do we even the playing field? I think going after some more rural workforce housing funds and keeping low interest on those is gonna be part of the solution.
Anybody else? Okay, thanks, Lisa. Nice to meet you, Emily.
Nice to meet you.
We will put that in the budget. Cal, let's go ahead and take care of a couple of yours while you're here before 9 o'clock. Discuss and act on Honeywell, the bids that we got for the controls. And this had to do with the survey or analysis that we had on the courthouse. And so we got 2, an engineer controls and control depot that are in front of us. One obviously is a little bit cheaper. Can you explain just a little bit what this is for the rest of the board, what this is gonna do?
This is gonna upgrade our HVAC, the graphics and the computer part of it. The Jace that we got right now, which is the brains of the system, is an obsolete Jace. It's completely full. We can't add any more stations to it. We had an evaluation done in February, and they said that a lot of our VAV boxes are not running as true VAVs. They're running as zone temperature zones. So they would correct that. And part of it is getting the new Jace, and like Kurt said one time too, he said, what would it take to make this system work? Well, this is a good start. So
So it seems like our AC runs pretty well in the courthouse, but our heating is just,
Yeah.
we've struggled
Yeah,
with heating and
I mean,
adequate heating, and we've had auxiliary sources of heat plugged in to try to keep people warm, and then we got hot spots, and hopefully this would be something that would,
right.
like I say, it's a good first step to do it. And I assume your recommendation is to go with engineer controls,
Yes.
and they would be able to have this done prior to, obviously, the heating system, they thought, or the heating season, I should say.
Right.
Okay. Any questions for Cal while he's sitting there in front of us? And this would come out of just building and grounds, or would this come out of the other 980?
I'm gonna put it on other equipment.
Okay. It'd be for the new budget year,
Yeah.
anyway.
Mr. Chairman, there should be adequate funds in the 980 yet too, at this point, right?
Well, we'll be on the new year.
Yeah.
By the time they get it and get it built, so it'll be just have to budget it in the right place.
Because I budgeted the boiler and this on that.
Okay. Yeah, because the boiler is coming,
Last 2 weeks in July, they told me.
is when they thought it'd be here. Okay. Any other questions, Daniel?
I was just gonna, the company that is doing the boiler, this will all pretty well seamless, these two companies can work together, cause it's not the same company,
No.
correct?
No, this,
Okay.
the boiler is MMC,
Yeah, right,
so, yeah, and they work with engineered controls a lot, so.
okay,
Engineer Controls has really done work for us similar to what Rasmussen did. You know,
Okay.
or still does in a sense, but
Right.
Cal feels a little bit more comfortable with them. Okay. Don't take off. What's your guys' wishes?
Does Cal have a recommendation? Or are you satisfied with both the product? I'm not talking price. If you leave price out of it. you
Yeah,
know,
engineered controls, I've used them in the past. In fact, during construction, the contractor cut a line, and one of their employees was here till at like 8 o'clock at night. Him and I were looking for the line, and that was during a snowstorm, and he stayed till we found it. So, and they've had other, I've had them do other things, and been quite impressed with them.
Okay. Good to know.
Mr. Chairman, on the recommendation of our maintenance supervisor, I would make a motion that we move forward with the contract with Engineered Controls.
Thank you, Daniel.
Second.
Whichever one you grab. Any other discussion?
And what's their timeline?
I'm gonna have to contact them.
Okay,
Tell them,
They got it.
yeah.
okay, very good.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Gross.
Yes.
Holmesburg.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Volkern.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. The other thing we have on our agenda is discuss an act on hail guard for rooftop unit. Do you have anything on that?
He hasn't got me a price on that yet.
Okay, so in that it would be really a maintenance thing, I'm thinking, unless it's really,
It's just a preventive thing, it just will be a hail guard be on the west side of the big condenser, because we do have damage from the hail. If we can prevent further damage, you know.
okay. Well, I would think that unless, we'll talk when the bid comes in, then that'd be just a maintenance
Yeah.
call, unless it's, thousands of dollars, and I
No,
can't
it
imagine it
shouldn't
would
be.
be. Okay, so with that, then let's just entertain a motion to table this indefinitely on that one.
Postpone indefinitely?
Yeah.
So moved.
Yeah.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Volkern.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Holmesburg.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes, thanks, Cal. Have a great day. Okay, that takes us to our 9 o'clock. Jeff Croats.
Actually, it's Randy Overmeyer. Jeff Groats is the individual who coordinated the
Okay,
meeting. But Randy not Randy Overmeyer.
I'm here,
Jones.
just in case you want.
Yes, Randy Jones is the director at Team Partners.
That's all right.
And I
Good
will-
morning,
Good morning.
if I could have your name.
Good morning, Randy.
Yeah, you too.
Randy Jones, I'm Director of Aging Partners, which supports 7-county area. York is one. Through interlocal agreements, we support county aging services departments with support services. We help channel the request for funding and provide monitoring services. So it's good to see you again. So this last year, aging services, and this is combined between Lori's department and aging partners, we've served 710 individuals with 24,000 actual units of services. And those are measured by the units that you see on the second page here. One of the very important pieces that is not represented here is what's called our Medicaid waiver program. And, ultimately, our goal is to keep seniors in their homes as long as they want to be there, and to have them live safely there, and live as long as they'd like. And so what we do to qualify for Medicaid waiver, you have to be Medicaid qualified. But you also have to have what are called ADL deficiencies. ADLs are like, think of how we got up this morning. You had to get out of bed, you had to eat, you had to clothe yourself, bathe yourself. Those are called ADLs. If somebody has 3 of those that are missing, they often become eligible for nursing home care. Well, many people would prefer to spend that time in their home and not in the nursing home. And for Medicaid folks, that's quite an expense to put seniors in nursing homes on the state. So this program actually places services in the homes of Medicaid waiver clients so that they can remain there and not have to go to a nursing home. That program is run out of Aging Partners and is not reflected on the figures that you see here. So that's kind of a value add, I might say. We are, between Lori and our agency, we're collectively serving 26% of the York County citizens that are senior age. And within the next, maybe 8 years, that population will go up and represent 32% of the population. So 1 in 3 people in York County will be over the age of 60. It continues to rise, and what that is the baby boomer age getting older. We're reaching, of that group, we're reaching 22% of them. And I'll share with you in a minute an opportunity that I think we can do better than that. But our priority when we talk about looking at demand for services. Our priority is for 65 plus impoverished. And if you look at the bottom of that first page, the good thing is that we are serving 52% of the impoverished seniors in York County. That's our priority. What we're gonna see in the coming year is these two bars to the right, age 75 plus and 85 plus. That grouping is really expanding quickly. And that's because those are the kind of the back end of the baby boomer age. These folks, when you get to be 85 plus, demand far more public services, such as fire, hospitals, medical care, transportation. So the demands on services will continue to increase pretty fast. We have a program that brings direct dollars to help pay for staff time related to social work, and that's called our state care management program. And just as an opportunity, you know, Lori and I, we've talked about our opportunity to maintain focus on that program. And right now, our contract, which will come before you in the coming days, is a $10,000 contract where we channel $10,000 to the county that helps pay for staff time to deliver these state care management programs. State care management places services in the home of someone. Somebody's at their home, they can't clean, for example. We might hire a chore provider to go in there once a week to clean. And this is for folks that are impoverished. Comparably, Fillmore County has a contract of $25,000. And I think based on the population size of York, we can do a lot better in terms of our reach to seniors in York County with this program. Up to date, we've had challenges reaching that 10,000 figure in York County, and I think it's because of pressure and other programs that the staff are trying to manage. So I guess my point is that there is opportunity for us to consider that larger size grant in the future, because I think York is deserving from a population standpoint. The financials are on the next page. And what we ask of the county is $39,200. That pays for direct services from Aging Partners into the county, but it also pays for support services. To explain here a little bit, the $82,000 that comes from Aging Partners funds is state funds and Department of Ag funds. The $7,700, those are direct service to clients. So for example, if Lori's team goes out and does some social work on somebody, they need that chore service, then we pay for that chore service. And that $7,000 represents the sum of cash to pay providers. The 5517 is what we call Title 20, which are the very low income food reimbursement and some care management dollars. Our request to the county is for the $39,244, and that represents a 2.5% increase from last year. I wanted to make this short, and I didn't want to assume that you didn't have questions or that you know all about our program, so I guess I'd be open to any questions you have. Bill?
You did say that you would like to increase that grant.
Yes.
I guess I'm looking at that thing, is this, you have to be Medicaid qualified?
No, that's
Okay.
separate.
All right, because that's what I was wondering.
Yes.
Because I wonder if Fillmore County had a lot more Medicaid
Oh,
qualified
sure.
than York County. And if that was so, we should be proud of that.
That is true. This is, to qualify for state care management, you do have to be low income, but not Medicaid qualified.
Okay.
Yes. And God, do you remember, Lori, what that division is on?
$150,000 federal poverty level, I believe. and up to
150%?
300 to 300,000, or 300%.
150 to 300% poverty level.
And we do have a lot of those individuals with that poverty level in York County.
Just to kind of piggyback on that
Yes.
a little bit, in increasing that, what are the criteria to, that York County would qualify to be
Sure.
up to that next grant?
Well, we certainly want to make sure that through our monitoring visits, that we're seeing compliance with state regulation. And I think Lauren and us are on track to do that in the coming year. The other requirement is that because there's been less focus on this program, we haven't been billed for the full amount of the contract. So we're used to spending less
Sure.
than the 10,000.
Yep.
If demand is there,
Yep.
that shows a need,
Yep.
and if we're delivering it to state standards, then those would be the measurements.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Along with a commitment from the staff in the county that there'll be staff time devoted to it. And part of that 25 does pay for staff time. It's $21 an hour, if you recall. Didn't bring the numbers with me, but for example, there is some reimbursement of staff time on that. From a timing standpoint, because we're into the contract period right now, and I would have to take that balance away from somebody else,
Sure.
we're set for this coming year. So we should evaluate this and readdress it next year.
Yep.
And one of the things that would help with that is the support staff that we had discussed at one time, where we need the support staff to assist, because along with the actual working with the client, there's also the data that needs to be done as well, and so that's an important part of that.
Well, this is something too, though, Lori, that as you work on your budget, that needs to be
Building
turned
it in
in,
there,
you
yep.
know, that has to be built in,
Yep.
in steps. Obviously, if it's a staffing issue,
Right.
because we gotta do our share too, because it isn't, it's partially funded, right? The staff is partially funded through that grant.
Right, and then the
Yes.
county would fund the rest.
Right. Okay. Any other questions, Randy, for Lori while she's sitting there?
Thank you, we appreciate the partnership.
You bet, you bet. Thank you. Got papers this morning. Okay, we do have a 9:15 with John Day, Blue Valley Behavioral Health updates and budget request. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you folks today?
Doing good.
I'm John Day, and I'm the Executive Director of Blue Valley Behavioral Health. And I'm here to, first of all, say thank you for the past 2 years. You've been able to contribute $5,000 to our organization that helps support additional substance abuse services that we increased several years ago. So during this past year, our fiscal year ends at the end of this month, and so we'll finish up serving right around 200 individuals just for substance abuse, which is a slight increase from last year. Overall, we'll end up seeing close to 1,000 people here in York County for all of our behavioral health services. And so Blue Valley, we do outpatient mental health and substance abuse services with adults and kids and all ages and all types of problems. And so during this past year, we were able to survive COVID again. We didn't close our office at all. We had to do some telehealth for a while with different staff, but overall, we kept our doors open and kept everybody coming in. It's interesting, I was just looking at some numbers, like I mentioned, we were seeing close to 1,000 people by the end of this month for the entire year, and that's about a 15% increase from about 2.5 years ago. So that's a pretty big number. And so because of that, we continue to try to increase our staff and increase, especially our substance abuse staff. And so for this upcoming year, we expect a strong year, and again, make a request for $5,000 that'll go towards our substance abuse services. I figure it's one of those investments that stays the same, but the dividends continue to grow. So, as I mentioned, our numbers continue to grow every year, and the number of people we're seeing. So, wanted to not only provide that request, but also be here to answer the questions you guys might have.
Anybody have any, John, this morning? Sounds like you're off the hook.
Well, good deal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming in. Obviously, we'll put this in with the budget.
You bet. All right, thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Did you have another copy of that, or is this the copy for the budget? Okay, the other one is until 9:30, so we got that and that. Lori left the room for now. Discuss and act on Region 5 agreement for EPC services between Region 5 and York County. You should have had that to you. Our EPC services is something, as we looked at the budget this last year, this is something we do use, or at least we had been using a fair amount of. Minimum charge looks like it's $214 according to this agreement. And I believe this is one that we all sign. It looks like there's a place for all of us to sign.
Is that that's basically the same as last year, isn't it, Mr. Chairman?
I think so, Bill. I didn't dig up last year's, but that is right in that 200.
Did they say
Does it
there's
say on
some
there?
changes?
There, in
Had
that
been
letter, there
208
was,
at one time, then it went to 214.
okay.
Yeah, what's laid out in the original is removal of any references to the bridge behavioral health is no longer providing the service. And item number 2 is changing a word in paragraph 4, new language, crisis stabilization services to persons placed in emergency protective custody. And it's striking the old language, so, I think you're right, Bill, because they don't talk about it in the opening letter.
And I think we're saving probably half of what would be charged, you know, if we had to pay the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. So that is in front of us, and like I say, I think that's for all of us to sign.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we go ahead and accept the Region 5 agreement for EPC services between Region 5 and York County.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Baumsberger.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Yes. Seems that we got a little bit of time here, we'll just take a second to sign it. I don't know if Lori was gonna come back in for the service agreement with York County and City of Lincoln. Is she still outside?
Could be.
You hear her? I'll go grab her.
Thank you, Kurt.
Don't get up, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Kurt. You don't have a copy of that, do you? That service agreement, we don't have a copy of that here, do we? That was that one he just talked about, I believe.
Yes, yes, I did. Sorry. Are we talking about the service contract?
Yep,
Okay.
discuss and act on service agreement with York County and City of Lincoln.
Mr. Olson, I had sent that to you. Has he said anything to you? Because he was gonna look at it.
I have not heard anything yet.
Okay, so we may want to table that until he actually gets back with us, because you had asked that I share it with him.
Yes,
So, and I haven't heard back that he was gonna let me know when
okay.
he was done with it, so.
Was there a deadline on that as far as?
It's for the new fiscal year, but they will back, you know, they'll go back to the 1st of July.
Okay, so if we have it on our
Yeah, it'll be
14th,
fine.
or, yeah, I believe it's the 14th.
Yeah, it's
12th, I'm sorry, the
basically,
12th.
is that contract that talks about that 10,000,
Right.
that $10,000 for care management is what it's for.
Okay. And we'll be visiting with Mr. Olson later this morning too, so
Okay.
we can
And I'll
ask
be
him about
around because
that.
I saw something on the agenda about the handy bus budget, so I'll stick around for that too.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we postpone action on this item at this time.
Thank you, Kurt.
Second?
Thank you, Daniel. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Holgren.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Walsberg.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes. Do you have anything else that you need to go do? Because we can take care of those. I mean, the transfer is just to get your budget before the fiscal year.
Okay,
You know, is what it is. We're gonna recommend the transfer money, you know, out of, I believe it's 980 to cover the shortfall.
oh, with it, because we've gone over budget.
Yeah, $3,464.87.
Gas costs and.
Yeah, I assume that was
Repair
the
costs.
reason for that.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's all we're doing on that.
Oh, okay,
today.
okay, then I won't worry.
Is getting your budget.
Okay, thank you very much, I
Okay.
appreciate that.
You bet. Okay, next up is discuss an act on authorizing additional 1% budget authority for budget year 2022 to 2023. This is something that's on the agenda every year about this time of year. Last year, it was voted down by this board. If I can throw my 2 cents in, I think this year, especially with the increased costs, and as Lori just mentioned, fuel and the wages that we're gonna be looking at, you know, I personally think that it's something that we really need to look at. What saved us last year was the fact that we have that interlocal agreement, which helps give us an exemption. Otherwise, we could be butting into a little bit of trouble. But that is what it is. We have the authority to ask for an additional 1% budget authority. It is limited at, numbers are raised at 2.5. I think this takes it to 3.5. Okay.
To add on to that, I'm not necessarily a fan of more budget than is necessary, but like you said, we're in a situation with pricing and fuel costs this year that, you know, I think that it's gonna max out everybody's budget all across the country. So while I'm not necessarily a fan of growing the budget more than we necessarily need to, this might be a year where we're gonna need that extra %, so it would have my support this year.
And I think as we see our budgets come in, you know, we're department heads and elected officials are doing, they're not
Correct.
just looking for that 1%
Right.
to spend it, they actually do a
Yep.
good job of
Exactly.
keeping it under
Well,
control. So
and
it just gives us that flexibility in case
Exactly.
something.
Right, like was mentioned before, this isn't necessarily, I mean, it's just there if we have to, it's just authority that we can
Right.
use if we have to use it.
Yes, and it compounds and it affects the years after it.
Correct, yep.
Yeah, so there is kind of a ripple effect there too.
Mr. Chairman, this has to be done by a supermajority also, right?
I believe so.
5.
I believe so. It's not just as simple. Okay, that being said, I entertain a motion.
So moved to approve the 1% budget authority.
Thank you, Jack.
Second.
Thank you, Bill. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sykes.
Yes.
Walsberg.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Holgren.
Yes.
And Omenauer.
Yes. Okay, next up, we have discuss an act on add pledge security to Midwest Bank. Okay, that's the added ones there. Just gonna make sure the numbers. Okay, Midwest Bank security description, QSIP number 217658AV5 for $425,000. Midwest Bank CUSIP number 64972EGL7 for $3 million. Midwest Bank CUSIP number 239325FD0, $2 million. And Midwest Bank CUSIP number 239325FE8 for $3,785,000. And that is added securities that we need to take care of.
Move that we adopt said resolution.
Thank you, Kurt.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any other discussion?
Just a quick question. Last year we did a resolution where we did a blanket, and are these are just additional ones, or was that just for one bank, or?
When we did the to allow the treasurer to take care of
Right.
it. Right.
Mhm.
And I believe why these are being brought forward, as you see here, they're signed by Megan,
Sure.
the deputy. So
Yep.
we decided to come this way.
Okay.
Because the treasurer is not
Sure.
here right now.
Thank you.
So, just trying to cover our bases, just in case. I know the
Understood.
deputies act
Sure.
as the treasurer when
Yep.
they're gone, but it's just a,
Understood.
so yes, these are new added pledge securities.
Very good.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Holgren.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Walensberger.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
And Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, and likewise, we have Midwest Bank to release a pledge security of $10 million in CUSIP number 3136BHT25.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Bill.
Second.
Thank you, Daniel. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Walensberger.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Holgren.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, so it looks like we got a couple minutes here. We can take care of, we got our transfer from the holding, these are Leela's funds, 2913, 2914. That's the wireless money that we get in. We have to transfer so much of it every year. And as you can see, that figure is $37,392.46. And we need to transfer it out of 2913 into the 2914 holding fund. So we'll handle that one first.
Is that resolution as well, or?
Please.
So move.
Thank you, Kurt.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Holgren.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Walensberger.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. Next one is, we transferred, we created this last year, we created a drug fund, its own fund. These are funds that are collected when individuals get involved in the drug program, they pay into it. We had it in our 100 account. At the end of the fiscal year, our 100 account gets cleaned, it starts from zero, so it gets cleaned out. So we had actually taken that money that they had saved for the items of the drug court. The $1,000 is the money we, through this last budget year, approved to put back into that fund. So it's monies that we had already moved out of there that we're just putting back in. So that is what we're asking to be done right now. So that is from the general and into the 2390 drug court fund. That's $1,000.
Motion to approve the transfer.
Thank you, Jack.
Second.
Thank you, Daniel. Any other questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Sykes.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Holgren.
Yes.
Walensberger.
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay, now try to make this as least confusing as possible. We had moved the money, and these will be asking to amend the resolution 2218. We had moved the money, this is the money that went from our construction, that needed to go back into the inheritance. So, and we had moved too much. We had moved 18 cents too much. Sounds silly, but if we don't correct that, then we are in trouble. So this is amending a resolution 2218 to transfer $76,705.82 out of the 2910 911 Emergency Management Fund to 2940 Law Enforcement. And then it goes from the communications back, and it was the 18 cents that put us, oh, that's in here. So originally we transferred 86,706, right?
Yes.
And we needed to do 86,768, 18.
86, 705, 82.
80, okay. Is what we need. The amended number is 86,705.82. It's the 18 cents that we did too much. It put that fund in the red. So we need to amend the said resolution of 2218 to that number, 85,000.
86, 705, 82.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to amend resolution 2218, and amend that number to be 86,705.82.
Thank you, Daniel.
Second.
Thank you, Jack. Any discussion? Roll call.
Brooks.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Baumsberger.
Yes.
Holgren.
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes. And the next one is a mistake that I made when I had the sheets the last time. This is for the jail. And this would be resolution 22-19. I missed a vendor claim. You know, these are the numbers I got right before the meeting the last time, and I missed it. So we need to change that figure to an additional $25,774.61. So $25,744.61. We need to come out of 980 to make the jail budget work this year. So that's just something I missed. Originally, the last meeting, we did 130,000. And we needed 100 and, whatever it is, 155,774.61.
Why out of 980?
That's where there's extra money. We had taken 40 out of, we'd taken 40, I believe, out of the 980, so we're just gonna take an additional 25,774.61.
Okay.
Okay,
So we need to amend the resolution for it,
resolution 2219, yes,
Yep.
for corrected number.
and we wanna amend the number out of 980, or we wanna add,
We
The
need to
number.
add
okay,
25,774.61.
To the 40 already.
right,
Yep,
so
yep,
we,
yep, yep.
um,
And that should zero it out.
okay, and so we've already taken 40.
Yes.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would make a make a motion to amend resolution 2219, and to amend the amount coming out of 980 to the amount of 65,774.61.
Perfect.
Would that be correct?
Yes,
All right.
that will zero that out.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Brooks.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Baumsberger.
Yes.
Holgren.
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes, sorry, ladies, I got one more and then we'll get it done. We'll get to you. Seeing as how we're going through the confusing part anyway. So the last one was the handy bus we just talked about. That's $3,464.87, that was the shortfall. So if we transfer that money, once again, 980's got plenty of money in it. If we transfer that money, and this is not an amended, this just be a resolution to take care of that one.
So you're gonna do the exact amount, or you're gonna do 4,000?
We can do 4,000 on that one.
The movement that we
Thank you.
transferred 4,000.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call.
Baumsberger.
Yes.
Holgren.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for your patience on that one. Okay, now, we got to meet with Sheriff, well, we got 3 people we're gonna meet
Yeah,
with.
we brought the troops.
Ah.
Let you guys-
Numbers are strength, right?
Yeah.
Pull up another chair behind you then too, wherever you can
Oh,
grab.
that's okay.
Should I
leave one?
No.
No?
No.
Let you guys sit back and relax, and give your brains a rest.
Let's see it.
Good morning, my name is Sherry Miller. I'm the CEO for Blue Valley Community Action, and I appreciate you letting us come present to you today. I have Kelsey Peterson, who is our Family Development Coordinator here in York, and then she also is a Family Development Coordinator in Polk County. And then Heather Lytle is our Administrative Director, and she puts all the documents together and really takes the lead on organizing our board. I would like to also thank Kurt Bolgren for serving on our board of directors. We really appreciate his thought and input that he brings to all of our meetings, so he's been a great addition to our board. The first report I want to share with you is our impact report for 2021. And I'd like to remind you that Blue Valley serves 9 core counties, and then we have an additional 15 counties with limited services. So we're providing services to about 24 counties. And I also like to remind you that Blue Valley's mission is to help overcome poverty by meeting the needs of individuals and helping stabilize their situation. You know, we have anywhere from individuals that maybe don't have enough food on the table, maybe they're unable to pay their rent and in fear of getting evicted and being homeless. So our goal is really to take their situation, assess it, and then try to help stabilize it so that over time, hopefully, 6 months to even a year, then they're able to be self-reliant and not rely on services. So that's kind of our goal. Sometimes people get us confused with job placement, and we are definitely, we work with clients and help them to look for jobs or better their position in their work, but our goal really is to stabilize their situation and get them back on their feet. In 2021, Blue Valley served 6,441 individuals, so that's quite a few individuals. Nationwide, community action agencies serve 15 million low-income individuals, so poverty is still out there. Here in York County, we serve 968 individuals, and of those, 429 received emergency services. So that could be the food pantry, assistance with rent, utilities. That's when they would go to Kelsey for services. So almost half of those clients that came to us needed those emergency services. We housed helped 10 homeless individuals in York County. And to kind of give you a perspective, that number is actually fairly low. In Gage County last year, we had over 100 individuals that were homeless, and in Jefferson County, I believe we had 24. So I guess in the big scheme of things, 10 really isn't that bad compared to what we're seeing in some of our other communities. We had 27 we had 65 individuals live within our 27 single-family homes here in York, of which just most of them had a lot of hail damage, so we'll be in the process of getting those repaired for the families. I'm going to share with you some more statistics about the services here in York, numbers, and then Kelsey is going to share with you kind of what she's seeing with the clients that she's working with in the community. We have 64 senior citizens enrolled in our commodity supplemental food program. I would like to see that number increase. I feel like there's probably more individuals that are 65 or older that could use our services, so I think that number, I'd like to see that increase.
It is currently increasing.
Oh, great. It is increasing, okay. I also want to let you know that we did receive funding for a COVID grant. Blue Valley, and for the last year and for this upcoming year, we'll be able to provide free COVID clinics, and we can go into the school, we can go into a large business, and it's free of charge to everyone. So if you know of anyone that wants to do a clinic, please have them contact us, and we will come in and provide those boosters for individuals. We had 330 individuals that used the food pantries, receiving 1,358 bags of food. And with the Walmart Feeding America program through Walmart, we distributed 43,469 pounds of food. And with the Walmart Feeding America program, that there is no income limitations on that. That's open to anybody. We don't take any documentation. They're able to come in and get that food for free. So I will let you visit.
Okay. We do, as far as the Walmart, the only thing we ask is how many people in the household, because we like to know our impact. So we keep track of how many people in the household that food is benefiting when they come to pick it up. But other than that, we don't ask any income information, nothing. It's just available 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, usually in the morning, and it's there until it's gone. As far as what I'm currently seeing, I mean, I'm sure this is not a shocking statement to any of you. Pretty much across the board, we're increasing. The 10 homeless families that we had last year, we've already exceeded that in York. And it's continuing to grow. Our shelter is very rarely empty. And housing is getting increasingly more difficult to find. We're having to try to encourage our families to look outside of York County because there isn't anything available here. And when there is, it's usually not at a time when we have somebody who needs it, unfortunately. The timing never lines up quite right. It's getting a little better. We're starting to see some more openings, but it's still getting really, really tough. And what there is a lot of times isn't very affordable for the folks that I'm usually working with. Our food pantries are increasing exponentially. In fact, I just had a conversation with my assistant earlier in the week, last week, about possibly offering a third day in the week because we're starting to fill up our slots pretty quickly. And if people need it, can't hardly turn them away. Food is such a basic need. So that's probably something we're going to be looking at here in the next couple of weeks, trying to extend that a little bit more to be able to cover everybody who needs it. As far as my families that I work with, between gas prices and food prices, they're struggling a lot more than I've seen them in the past. Honestly, it's an opinion, but I think even more than during COVID, when it was at its height, I feel like they're struggling even more now than they were then. I'm seeing a lot more utility and rental assistance. The finances, the money's just not there. If they're gonna feed themselves, if they're gonna get to work, a lot of times there's money runs short a lot sooner than it did before. So that honestly is what I'm seeing right now. And there's we offer case management services, which I do pretty regularly with my financial assistance consumers. However, there's no way to budget more money when there isn't any. So it's getting a little bit tricky. I've been suggesting second jobs for a lot of folks, unfortunately, which is hard to do sometimes depending on their schedule with their first job, but I mean, there's no money left, they have to find something somewhere. And our assistance is helpful, but when it's limited, there's only so much we can do. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now.
On the back page of the impact report, you will see the funding that we received in 2021, and we actually received almost $1 million more than our regular budget, and most of those were COVID funds. The majority of those will end in September of 22. A couple of our programs actually do extend to September of 23, so we are expecting a decrease in our budget. It could extend, we never know, I guess. The other chart shows you the expenditures by service. So you can kind of see the breakdown of how funds are allocated with the services that we provide. And I should have pointed out, with the funding that we've received, Blue Valley, for every dollar, 88 cents of that goes back into client services. So the remaining 12 cents goes into our administrative costs. So we do everything we can to put the money back into the clients and the needs in our communities. The second page is an in comparison report, and this is a lot of demographic information on the front page. Just when I go to speak to the county boards, often they'll ask kind of how they compare with other counties that we serve. So this kind of just gives you demographic information. The chart on the bottom left-hand corner gives you the number of clients that Blue Valley served by county compared to the number of individuals in poverty in each county. And in York, as I said, we serve 968 individuals, and there, according to statistics, is 1,323 individuals who are in poverty. So we served about 73%. That's a fairly good number. That's pretty high. I think York is one of our highest counties that we are actually able to serve the majority of those who are in poverty.
Sure.
Oh, yes.
Or that number, 968, is that how many visits, or is that actual number of clients?
That's number of clients.
Okay.
Those are unduplicated.
Okay,
Yes.
very
Yep.
good, thank you.
Thank you. On the back side of this report, I always talk about Blue Valley we have over 35 programs, and each program has different eligibility criteria, different income guidelines that we have to meet. This kind of gives you a breakdown of some of our general programs that we have. Our Head Start program is the first one, and to be income eligible for our Head Start program, their guidelines are 100% poverty. So a family of 4 can only earn $27,750 to income qualify for that program. Now, we are able to take 30% of our enrollment can actually be 130% poverty, but those with the lowest income get the highest points to get in. So this kind of gives you an indication of the different programs and what it would take to income qualify for those programs. At the bottom of this page is our website. We, this past year, redid our website. We have a brand new website, and it is very client-friendly. So when you go to our homepage, clients can actually pull up and they can say, I live in York County, and then it will give every program that we have offered here in York County, or they can say, I need food, and it will pull up our commodities program, our Head Start program, our food pantry, so they can kind of search by need. We also have a careers page on there. As everybody else in the community, we are struggling to fill open positions that we have. So if you have somebody coming in here asking for services, one, send them our direction, but then also point them to our careers page, because we are very willing to hire. We do a lot of training, so you know, if they're not, maybe don't have the experience they need, we will definitely put the time and money into helping develop them professionally. The other piece I want to visit with you about is our weatherization program. We currently, our weatherization program receives about $400,000 a year to weatherize homes, and we have received word, and it's not official yet, but we are supposed to be receiving almost $1 million to expend over a 5-year period, and the goal is to have it expended within 3 years. So our weatherization program focuses, the highest eligibility criteria goes to elderly individuals, and then the next is disabled, and then families with young children. And the goal is to come in and weatherize their home and make their home more efficient so that they have long-term savings. Clients can either reach out to Kelsey and she can help them through the process, or they can go to our website and fill out an application there. We can replace windows, replace doors, air conditioning, furnaces, add insulation to their attic and walls. We're also, so we have 2 weatherization crews right now. We're getting ready to hire a 3rd crew. And we are also working with local contractors. So if you have a local contractor that would be interested in working with us to help weatherize homes, there is a section on the inside of the pamphlet that kind of tells what we would need from them in order for them to be able to help us with that. It's a great way for contractors to remain employed during the winter months, because we weatherize homes throughout the year. So please send them our way, and we would love to help keep them employed through those winter months. And the last form is our request for funding. We are requesting $10,996. We do appreciate your county's support every year. It does help us to be able to provide those services to the individuals in York County. Do you have any questions for us?
Gentlemen,
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Do you have a copy of that? Okay. At this time, I would ask to go into executive session. Contract negotiations, I would ask that county attorney join us. Is Chris gonna be joining us? Is he? It'd be great. Chris Johnson will be joining us, and then I would also ask the clerk to stick behind and join us today. So at 9:50.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Third, fourth.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Holgren.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Foster.
Yes.
Sykes.
Yes.
Omenauer.
Yes.
We got stuff coming up afterward.
We've got one thing, and then we'll have committee reports.